What's up, everybody? Welcome to this week's episode of Bullets, Barbells, and Barbecue. I'm your host, Brett. I got Chris, the artist formerly known as Heavy C,
in the house.
I got Matt and Tanner the Head. We got our show partners, Elite Nutrition Omaha. Check them out at elitenutritionomaha.com. Use code B3 at checkout for 10% off, or go to store and yell B3.
Get a free shaker.
We also have Rosewood Block, make the best barbecue cutting boards. You can get it fully customizable. rosewoodblock.com. Use code B3 at checkout. You won't be let down. Have you got yours yet, Tanner?
I have not.
Yeah.
Really?
Man.
It's worth the wait.
I told you, they said 13 weeks. And I got bumped too because you got to get yours before mine. So.
Ours. I believe it's ours.
Ours.
Yes.
Yeah, ours until you take it home. And then it's yours.
It's like it's ours, but we'll keep it at my house. All right, we got some. We did some Q&A stuff last week. It's good. People are asking more questions. So one of the questions was about like some gun reviews, some of our favorite pieces or new pieces. I know Matt just got one for his wife.
Right. If it wasn't like the rose gold color, I would totally keep it.
I'd still carry it.
Yeah.
It's super fucking nice.
What'd you get?
We got I say we, but I, for her, got a SIG P365 XL, but it's the rose edition. So it's by that Lena Mikulek.
Michalik? That's Jerry Michalek's daughter.
Yeah. So Jerry was like that phenomenal pistol or revolver shooter, like super fast draw, fire off 6 rounds, like ridiculous fast. And his daughter is a 3-gun, I believe, champion. Like she's sponsored by SIG, does the 3-gun competitions and stuff. But so she worked with SIG to like make a cool package for the 365. So they call it the 365 XL Rose package. And so when you get the box, it comes with the 365 XL, like the Spectre comp. So it has a slightly better trigger. It's got a integrated compensator on the front. This one comes with the Romeo red dot, but it also comes with the Vault-Tec like pistol safe. That's like the 4-finger like code to unlock it. A couple other goodies in there, but you also get access to, I think it's upwards of 20 different like training videos led by Lena. So it talks about like, hey, if this is your first gun, don't be scared. This is how you use it. So it starts from like super basic all the way through general maintenance, taking care of it, shooting it, just basic shooting, some very basic like defensive shooting target, and it gives you some drills to do. It also comes with a pouch of 5 dummy rounds. So like you could load your magazine with, you know, some live rounds and then sneak in a couple of these dummy rounds so you can practice on like clearing a jam, clearing a malfunction. And they walk through some of those drills on that. But so the package itself is cool. The gun looks super cool. If you guys get a chance, look at it. I got mine out at Shields. But then I got it, and of course I got it back around, I think, Thanksgiving time. And it was for Christmas, but I was like, well, I got to make sure it works, right? So I went out and I put, I don't know, 100, 150 rounds or so through it, and it is fucking nice. Like, it's a small gun, 12+1, but for being as small as it is, it fits my fat monkey pit mitts pretty well. And because of that compensator, like, it's really flat shooting, easy to keep on target. It's really nice.
That's all I got.
I mean,
That was a pretty comprehensive review.
Yeah. I would check. I looked at some reviews beforehand to see what the difference was. So I really liked the. I was interested in the Springfield Hellcat. And they made one that was, I think, was RDP, but it came with a red dot and a compensator. I held that one. Didn't really like the way that one fit in my hand. I never shot it, but just
Is this for you or for your wife?
This was originally I was looking for me. So originally I was looking.
You've been looking
for
at that Hellcat for like 3 years.
Yeah. So originally I was looking because I wanted one of these really small subcompact like summer carry guns, and so I looked at that one. Didn't really like that one. Looked at some of the Glocks. Didn't really like those. Shadow Systems came out with their CR920, which is like their little carry version, and I really, really wanted to like that because I love the other Shadow System platforms, and that one felt like shit. And then when I picked up the 365, I was like, oh shit, this is really nice. And my probably stupid assumption was that Erin just doesn't have enough like shooting experience to really have a preference. So whatever platform she starts with, it'll be like, okay, this is cool. Like it works. But then like you just started reading more and more reviews around it. And everyone really, really liked that one. And so my big my big question to like myself was with or without the compensator. Like I put a compensator on my MR920, and I think it's made not a huge difference, but just enough a difference that it was worth it. So I was really interested in that, and I think SIG claims it's like a 30% reduction in muzzle rise, which I'm not sure how they test that. And I obviously haven't shot the normal 365 XL, but the one that we got with the compensator is really flat shooting, super nice, feels good. Overall, really, really happy with that purchase.
I bought a Hellcat when they first came out, and I owned it for maybe 3 months. I thought it sucked, so I sold it. It was very snappy. Maybe it's different now, but that was when they first came out.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this gun's really cool. It was very snappy. I sold it. It's probably been 4 years ago. I think I got one the first month they were out because I was waiting for it to come out so I could get it, but I did not like it at all.
Well, we're kind of Matt dropped a lot of terms that we said we'd always make videos and try to explain everything as best we can. So if either of you guys want to elaborate, but like as a compensator, for someone who doesn't know what a compensator is, anybody, you got a description for that? Just like, because we talk about, we want to make this for anybody who doesn't know. So us throwing out a bunch of shit doesn't really help somebody.
Basically puts holes in the top of the slide so the gas escapes. So it reduces muzzle flip. Muzzle flip is the muzzle rise of the
And the
gun
recoil kind of helps.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you'll see serrations either in the slide, or a lot of them, if you get a gun with a threaded barrel, you can thread on a compensator, and it does exactly that. Okay, you think about the gun, right? Your actual bullet and all the gas and the power and everything is coming straight out of the gun, because the barrel and your leverage point sits above your wrist. As you shoot, it wants to drive straight back, but that fulcrum is above your hand, so it's going to drive your wrist up, just because of physics. So
like we've all seen the video where the girl shoots the Desert Eagle and gets hit in the face.
You see everyone like snapping themselves in the face, or like the gun rolls backwards out of their hand. So you put a compensator on, and it doesn't really extend the barrel, but what it does is it gives a place for the gas as it exits the barrel.
Just displaces
to go up, right? So you get a certain percentage of the gas to go up. In most pistol compensators, it will go up to try to offset the muzzle rise that you're going to get.
It's similar as a muzzle. If you ever hear the term muzzle brake, it's kind of a similar idea as a muzzle brake.
Yeah.
They're transferring the flow of that air to offset.
Yep. So you zoom in on the video here, you can see the little tiny Barrett on the table. That has the muzzle brake, and those are ported to go to the side and back, so that some of the gas that comes out of the barrel gets directed back a little bit and to the side. It's because the gun, again, wants to drive straight back into your shoulder. So this muzzle brake pushes some of that gas backwards to try to pull the gun forward and offset some of that impact from the gun itself.
And if you've ever been next to somebody shooting a Barrett, you'll know exactly what they're talking about.
Shooting the Barrett is the most comfortable place to be. Anywhere else around it blows.
Yeah, because you're going to eat all of that that air that's moving. And also, you said it's a 12+1. Mm-hmm. So also, if you're not familiar with guns, the 12+1 means that there is one in the chamber, one is loaded. Otherwise, if you don't like to carry loaded, it's just a 12-round gun. One in the pipe, one in the chamber, one that's loaded means it's live action, ready to go.
Yeah.
So if you're looking to buy a gun and you're wondering, and you see like a 12+1 or a 6+1, the +1 means there's one in the chamber.
Yeah. I think the +1 is kind of a foolish add-on. Like, you just assume that whatever your magazine capacity is, +1 is the max that your magazine could have.
Because you have to load it. You have to put the magazine in, chamber around, pull the mag back out, put another round in to be maxed out.
Actual max capacity.
Topped off. Yeah.
So if you see any of those terms, like we were talking about, this is a good place to throw that in there, just so you know, because we'll just kind of throw shit out there. And obviously, he's talking about red dot. Everybody knows a red dot. It's just an optic you can mount to it. Mm-hmm. And we'll, if we come across any of those things, we'll try to break it down for everybody so you don't feel lost. Because I know when I first got into guns, I just had to look a lot of things up because I don't know what the fuck this means.
Yeah.
I'm looking over at Chris. He still looks cold.
I am cold.
He's got his jacket and his hat on still.
Yeah.
I can feel sweat is starting to pool under my sweatshirt.
Yeah, I'm cold. I'm just thinking my legs are cold. That's what I was just thinking. Right before you said
it is 63 degrees in here.
Yeah.
It's like summer.
I'm little. We got to get some fucking. We need a.
Not according to the camera, the same
I
size
know.
as the rest of us.
Fat on camera. What we need to do in the summer is I'll take my shirt off and one of you guys take, and we'll switch shirts, and then you can realize how much smaller I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's really concerned about this.
Yeah. I'm fat phobic, obviously, because I used to be really fat. So then I see myself and I look fat. I'm like, oh my God. Like I have nightmares about being fat still.
It's that body dysmorphia. We've talked
Yeah.
about that in the past.
Yeah, probably.
And Chris, you got a different gun. Or not different, you added one.
My wife bought me a FN 502. It's like a 22 caliber
Pistol?
handgun. Yeah. I haven't shot it yet though.
What's the
so.
mag capacity on that?
You know, that's a good question. I think it comes with a 20.
I was going to say, I was going to guess in the
nice.
20s.
One's a 20 and
Good.
then one's a 10. I think that's what it is. But I want to buy a suppressor for it too, so I'm super excited to do that. And it comes optic ready, so I can put it, which means that it has a mounting plate already for an optic. So I got to buy another optic too.
Darn it.
I know, right? That's so terrible.
And on that suppressor part,
Yeah.
for anybody who watches movies, that is not how a suppressor always works. Now, maybe on this 22, because it's such a small caliber,
Yeah.
it's going to be quiet.
Mm-hmm.
But where was I reading that would I say a 40? A 40 is still louder than a jackhammer with a suppressor.
I've been around a lot of suppressors, and basically, if you're shooting an AR-15 with a suppressor on it, you still need ear protection.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not.
Yeah.
Is it still, what, like 125, 130
Yeah,
decibels
it's not-
with the
Yeah,
suppressor?
so
Yeah.
watching like John Wick, like when he's shooting in the subway and like no one's hearing that, that's not real unless they're shooting like maybe a 22.
I mean, if you shot a rifle inside of a car, I mean, you would
Yeah.
never forget it the rest of your life. That's how loud it would be. And it would even be that loud. The concussion's still going to happen with if there's a suppressor on the rifle.
Well, and I feel like if you're in this area, like we've shot at mats before, and if you're in this area of like Nebraska or wherever you're at, if it's hilly, there's still going to be that out in front of you. It's
Yeah.
still going to be loud because
Yeah.
you're hitting a berm or you're hitting that concussion is going somewhere. So you're hitting it now. If you were like
Well,
in
then
a
you get
super
the-
flat area shooting,
If
it
you
might
don't
be-
buy the subsonic rounds, then you get the snap of the round breaking the sound barrier too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yes, there's a lot of things. So if anybody, which is also, I don't think a suppressor should be illegal to own because to me it's no different than like the foregrip you can add to a gun or
then it adds a lot of length to any gun too, so it's less concealable once you put that on there.
yeah. I think it's just that
Like,
people have got a
we have
weird
friends
idea.
that- we have family in Norway, and I was over there a long time ago, but they were going hunting, and everyone that went out hunting had a suppressor on their hunting rifle.
They're very pro
And-
them, aren't they?
Yeah, and they're like, you're pretty much an asshole if you don't have a suppressor on, because it's super loud, right? You're already like gonna make a bunch of noise and disrupt the nature, but like they just have them on there when they go. So
Yeah, I think and I think it's good. Actually, suppressors are good. I think if for teaching, if you're trying to work with someone on shooting, you can stand next to them and it is quieter.
Yeah.
You know, it's still going to be loud, but it's quieter, so you can stand right next to them and shoot and be able to talk to them and teach them the operations or whatever you're trying to do
But
with
it's
the
not
gun.
ting, ting, ting.
No, like I
you
said,
hear more than just the rack of the
this
slide.
22 that Chris got, you're probably just going to hear the action. If you have a bolt action,
you probably will just hear the
yeah.
handgun move
And if
it.
you had a
Yeah.
bolt action with a suppressor, you would hear nothing basically.
Yeah, you wouldn't
Yep.
hear nothing.
You hear the click. I have a buddy who's got a lever action 22 with a suppressor on it, and like really all
You
you
just
hear
hear the trigger click.
yeah, you just hear it, and that's it.
Yeah, so there's just a lot
super
of like fake things out there about suppressors. You know, it's just like if you put a pillow over the barrel and shoot it, it's not that quiet either.
How do you know?
I just assume.
Moving on.
Tanner, you got a new gun in the last like month or two, didn't you?
No. Oh, well, we got Nicole got a Smith & Wesson, the Easy 380.
What makes it easy?
The rack, it that slides like I was almost scared, like it moves so easy. Like, you know how
Can you like whatever the
Slam racket?
slam rack?
you
Oh,
probably
that's so
could.
awesome.
You probably could. I've never tried. But you know, like on your 365, like it takes
Yeah.
effort.
Yeah.
You know, like it does the Easy is like shit. Yeah. Locked. That was pretty
I wonder if that would make it a little snappier, because if there's less to absorb the impact of that slide coming back and just hammering at the hard stop, I imagine that would give you a little more snap to it.
Have you shot it yet?
Yeah, she has. It didn't seem snappy at all.
Nice.
She doesn't like that. She doesn't like her three. She doesn't like the 365 though. She thinks that's too snappy. So
The 360, the XL or the just regular?
we just got the regular one.
So that
But she has a
380 's gonna
Beretta.
that 380 is small though, right?
Yeah.
380 is I think a good gun to carry.
So we were listening. I was listening to like a prepper guy, and not that I'm full prepper, but I think like I said, we should all be partially prepper.
100%.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to be like full prepper, but we should all be working our way towards there.
You should be prepared.
Yeah.
I just spit everywhere.
So there's a
It's your
couple.
mic. It's fine.
There's a couple different. Now you're licking it.
It's fine.
There's a couple different mindsets on like guns. Like, do you want all the same caliber so it's easier for you to stock up on ammo? His mindset was you should have a bunch of different ones, even if you just stock up mainly on one. That way, if you're out, like if there is an apocalyptic situation and you're out and about, that any ammo you stumble upon will basically be usable.
Yeah, my goal was like one of every caliber when I started buying guns.
Yeah.
I'm probably pretty close.
But I mean, it's easier to stock up. Like if you only have 9, it's really
Right.
easy. Like you can just buy 9.
Yeah, like a 9 and a 5.56 are two that you just
Right.
like should have.
Right.
If you're
But
doing
then
it
like
prep.
if you're out and about, you know, like if you're in an apocalypse situation and you're rummaging and scavenging,
Right.
it'd be nice if any round you came upon,
You had something.
you had something.
What's your favorite gun you own, Matt? Not even like I'm not even talking about like your go-to, like if someone's in your house. Just like what's your favorite gun to shoot?
I
that you
really
own?
like my over under. It's one I haven't shot regularly in a long time, but I did a shitload of bird hunting with it, did a bunch of dog trials with it, and it was like the first real nice gun that I invested money into.
Yeah, over under. Nice ones they're expensive.
Yeah, it was. So I got it from Guns Unlimited. This was, Jesus, I was 20 maybe, 2022. Back then it retailed for somewhere around $3,500, and I got it for $2,300 because it was on their scratch and dent sale. And all it is on the stock, there's like a scratch in it, and so they had it marked down. But it's a SKS waterfowler, and it's cool. It's actually probably a little short for me, but it's super cool. It's really nice, looks good, and it's also something like really cool rustic about breaking it. And like you can just you break it loose and you can just snap it and the shells pop out and you drop some new ones in. Something very, very cool about that.
I hear you're not supposed to like snap it closed real hard though.
No.
That's what messes up the springs in it.
Yeah, because it's just too much jarring, and you really like. It's not good to like just snap it open. Like you should be like a controlled break to get it open. But I actually had to take it in, and I had to get some work done on it because when I bought it, they were like, "Hey, be sure that you always lube up the break point, right? So it's not just metal on metal; it's got some lubrication." But like I was just filling it full of lube, like we were getting ready to do something dirty, and that's too much lube. And stuff, and so it kind of just wears it out a little bit more and kind of messes some things up. So they had to go in there and retool it. So it's just you just need just a dab will do.
Just a little lube.
Just a little lube will do for that.
Just a dab.
But yeah, that one's just super fun. Probably more from like a nostalgia standpoint, and that I really like it. And it was the first one that like I invested a shit ton of money at that time into.
What's your favorite gun, Brett? You have some cool ones. They're usually wall mountable.
I mean, I don't know. That's tough. Probably, I don't know. I always wanted a Barrett, and now I have a Barrett, and so that's pretty fun to shoot. That's pretty awesome. The first expensive gun I ever bought when I first started like actually like making some money as a trainer was I bought a Desert Eagle because I always wanted one. Like after, which I know it's not the gun out of RoboCop's leg, but it looks just like the one that RoboCop
Just
pulled out of his
like
leg.
it, yeah.
So yeah, I mean the Desert Eagle and the Barrett are probably my two favorite that I own. I mean they're super fun to shoot. But then that little MP5 I put that binary trigger in was also
That was-
super fun to shoot. So, but probably I don't know. My Desert Eagle's probably got a special spot because it was kind of like an achievement thing for me. So it's probably got a special. It doesn't shoot worth a fuck. I mean, it probably jams like once every 14 rounds, because you're shooting baby fingers out of it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like not even actually like adult fingers.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the rounds are big. But yeah, that's probably the Desert Eagle's probably got the special spot for me. What about you, Chris?
Probably the rifle that I've built myself is my favorite gun, and I have we have a couple BCMs, a couple one Danny LaFence, some Sig Sauers, and then, but The rifle that I built myself, I think it's just because I built it. That's why I like it the most.
Is that Palmetto?
No, it's just an Anderson lower, but all real fancy parts. Anderson lower and upper, but the lower and upper don't really matter. They're all mil spec anyway. So then it's all about the parts that you put in them after that. The barrel,
You want to tell me what mil spec is?
it's basically standardized.
Like a
you know.
military spec?
Yeah,
Yeah.
standardized how they're
Yeah.
made. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, if you see mil spec, if
Yeah.
something's mil spec, it's compatible with.
I think only a
just
couple
about-
people actually make the lowers and uppers. People just put their names on them.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't, it's, most of them are pretty much the same.
Yeah. With
It doesn't-
when you get into the ARs, I feel like the 5.56, everything is basically interchangeable
Yeah.
from brand to brand with like that mil spec idea to them.
And as far as rifles go, the BCMs are probably the best ones that I've shot, even better than my Daniel. I don't like. I remember when I first bought the Daniel, I was like, "Oh yeah, got a Daniel Defense. This thing's awesome." Then my wife had a BCM when we met, and then Bravo Company, in case anybody doesn't know what BCM stands for. And then I shot that, and I was like, "This gun's way better than mine." And they're like this. It's a little cheaper too. And then cleaning them, I clean both of them when we shoot. So when I clean hers, it cleans easier. So to me, that means the parts are better inside because all that carbon and all that stuff. I just spray a little stuff on there, just wipes off there. I got to scrape my firing pin to get all the carbon off mine on the Daniel. But the one I built, it's just smooth, super smooth. I aligned everything myself, like adjusted the gas and, put it in different buffer tubes when I built it. So it's very smooth, not overgassed. Overgas means basically when you shoot a rifle, the gas comes out, comes back through the gas tube and comes back in. If you can taste it, that means it's overgassed. And a lot of people, a lot of
start
people,
coughing, yeah.
a lot of people when they build their stuff, they don't really understand that, which I didn't understand it. I had to do a bunch of research before, but yeah, that's probably my favorite one, the one I made myself.
You got sentimental.
Yeah.
What about you, Tanner?
I like my DDM4, my Daniel Defense M4. Nicole got it for me for my birthday when I was allowed to own a gun.
Sure, I can't talk about it, but you can.
Well, I know you wanted to, so
Have you
Yeah.
been over there just thinking about it this whole time? Whether
Just
you can talk
waiting.
about it?
just waiting for the moment.
Wait for the ball to drop.
I'm not
Yeah.
going to let Brett bring it up, but I'll bring it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a real 8 Mile over here.
Mom spaghetti.
But I think that kind of, I don't know. That was a good gun review. I mean, that's
Yeah. I will say one thing I'm looking at now, which I've thought like it would be really nice to have, and I see more and more people doing it, but it's elevated optic mounts. So you put
The
them on your
risers, yeah.
rifle. Yeah. So you put a riser to get it up. Because I've got fat shoulders and a fat face and a fat neck. And so to like get down into a comfortable position is not comfortable. But now I've seen like a lot of people putting risers or even putting, like you have a magnifying optic with your red dot on top of it and stuff. And so I've been really eyeballing some of those risers because like on my AR platform, I have the Romeo Juliet combo. So it's got a 3-time magnifier that can flip out with your red dot. But trying to get down there is really uncomfortable. And so you're just kind of like smashing into the spot. But putting a riser on there lets you really set that rifle into like a good, comfortable spot and keep your head at a more kind of natural position and allow you to see a little more than trying to like turn and look sideways down a keyhole.
It'll make you faster and more accurate too. And then when you train with your rifle, you always want your face to land on the same spot. I don't know if a lot of people know that. Like, it's like the same thing when you use your handgun, right? You want the same grip every time. Same thing when you mount your rifle. You want the same cheek spot, same spot where you place your nose, same spot where you place your eye. And if you have to get down on the rifle like that, then it's not very, I'm losing the word right now. It's not very efficient
Yeah.
for you.
advantageous.
Yeah. So that's, if you get that
Well, it's hard to
riser-
get in the same spot if it's hard to get into.
The only thing that'll mess with you with the risers, up close shots, the offset's going to be, you got to practice with the offset, when you get closer, because obviously
Yeah, because you're so
Yeah.
much higher above the barrel.
the barrel, yeah.
I
You
tried
have to
one of
aim a little
those.
higher when you get close.
I tried one of those 45 degree.
Yeah.
Coach X has that 45. That shit's not comfortable.
Oh,
Because when you rotate
No.
the rifle, the stock is like pointy into your shoulder.
Yeah.
Unless
Oh,
it's
I
like
didn't think it was that bad.
you got like a big rubber pad on there or something.
No.
No, he's just a man.
I'm not.
No, I did like with the 45-degree offset, and you just turn it. So yeah, I didn't think it was that.
Yeah.
So I think it's super tactical.
I just thought the way it like sat in your shoulder was not.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I have it. I don't know how necessary it is, but I have it.
Oh, yeah. It's just me then. I just thought it wasn't super comfortable to shoot.
I've never shot one with the 45 degree offset thing. I've never done that.
But Coach X had it, so I'm sure his stock was like knowing him, it was the cheapest possible, hardest plastic stock you could have on it.
It actually manufactured a defect with like little spikes on the back.
Yeah.
He willed it himself out of wood.
Yeah. Yeah, it was not the most comfortable
Out of
stock I've
melted
shot.
pop bottles.
Yeah.
In the press.
Check this thing out, guys. I got a good deal on it.
Yeah. His is tight as they come.
Shooting at my house where we shoot kind of out in our field and stuff. It's not like a designated range. It's actually just like a little meadow where like we take our dogs out and we do some shitting. One of my favorite accessories I got for my AR platform is actually like a mesh basket that snaps on right outside.
Catcher.
Yeah, so it catches all the brass and it'll hold, I don't know, 60, 90 rounds. No problem. And so at least for me personally, like if you're shooting somewhere that like you just don't want to leave brass everywhere, it's really nice to have that, and I can just go and then just dump that out in the trash and not have to worry about random brass everywhere. I thought it would, like, as it got fuller, I would have like a likelihood of having like a malfunction on the ejection, like it would bounce off or come back and it wouldn't clear, but I have had no issue with it clearing after a round.
Nice. Yeah, I've never used one.
We should go out shooting the AR sometime, and we'll use the shit stick.
The shit.
Put the stick on the ejection port and cause malfunctions,
Oh,
and we can film
You
each
gotta
other
work on
clearing them.
clearing it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look like an idiot. I still haven't shot mine since I put the new lower on it.
So
You haven't?
during my concealed carry class, he had his clear malfunctions, like in front of the class. It's really fun.
Oh, we didn't have to do any of that when we took my concealed carry class.
No.
No, he had his all clear.
We just had to
malfunctions.
reload,
That
get a
sounds
holster.
Yeah.
Like,
We had a
that's
draw.
a good skill to figure out.
Yeah.
We had to draw and reload. So we had to have another magazine ready
There was one gal who got a lot of practice clearing malfunctions.
because her gun was a piece of shit.
Yeah, I think so. Or she was using like surplus Russian ammo from the Cold War. But
My dad gave me a box of 22 ammo that was 89 cents at Pomida. So I'm pretty sure that's from like the mid 80s.
have you shot it yet?
No. And you know, funny story you're talking about, like that over under breaker style. Guns used to be so much easier to get back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
My dad has a single shot 12 gauge that's a breaker style.
Yeah.
He brings it out. This thing has probably never been cleaned. Shoots it. And he's like, man, bought this from some old preacher uptown for like $10. Pretty good gun. And I was like, and you know, that's how you used to be able to go to Pomida and buy a shotgun like that. Like,
Yeah.
gun laws are way different now. So I think it's more of a people thing than a gun thing at this point.
So I don't know if it's like if it's a federal law or state law, but my son went to buy a rifle. He's 19, and they made him wait a week.
Where at?
Shields, because I think because of his age.
Weird.
I thought long guns, you just show up and say, I would like that.
I don't know. It doesn't. It really didn't bother me that much, like because he's just at that teenage age where
Right.
they're slowing him down a little bit. But I think he had to wait a week.
Was he buying it for like hunting or like,
Yeah.
oh,
TBD.
yeah, like hunting animals or people or what?
No, he's not a little psycho. He's not a psycho at all. But he's probably the most chill kid out of all of them.
It could be a company. I don't know if there's a lot. There could be just be a company policy too.
It could be. Yeah, I don't know.
Weird.
We had another one on pellet versus offset.
Which one we use?
Yeah.
Pellet.
We all use
Pellet.
pellets because we're lazy.
Whoa.
Come on.
First of all, a good offset is expensive, like
Yeah.
ridiculously expensive for a really good offset.
And I feel like it's
So
a
we're
new
like-
skill to learn, like to keep the fire just right.
So you're
you
saying
know.
we're cheap and lazy?
Yeah.
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 I mean,
Because when Blaine was on here, he claims that Jambo he has, you don't even have to really babysit.
No. But it was also very expensive.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah,
I
'cause
would
those are-
imagine that's like with just spending, like you pay more. Like if you go get yourself like one of those Oklahoma Joe offsets. Like
And it's
that's
basically
not-
how thin the steel is going to be,
right,
so you're going to lose all your
the
temperature.
steel's pretty thin. I would imagine the airflow dynamics around the smoke box into the grill like aren't all that great, and it's tough to get it tempered. So you either just have like a wide open flame that's just going to burn out your wood real quick, or you're going to have like a low smolder.
I've never even used an offset. The first smoker I had was a piece of shit, like just tube, where you had the racks. You lift the whole thing off and have your stuff underneath, and then have all the racks in between. Kind of when you like making dinner, like we'll eat between like 3 and 10 because I have no idea when this.
We're gonna
is
eat Saturday.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think like on those offsets or actually any smoker, like when you're buying, like you don't have to buy the most expensive one, but I wouldn't buy the cheapest one either. Because just because it's super expensive doesn't mean like you see some of these guys making offsets and they're selling them for like it'll be small and they want like 5,000-6,000 for them. That's not worth that. I mean, there's plenty of
But I
other.
haven't seen and I haven't researched a lot of like offsets just because I am lazy. Like I enjoy the
set
I
it-
have no desire.
The
to
set
have
it and
one.
forget it of the pellet is
Yeah.
obviously
Right.
the most tempting
have a-
feature.
yeah.
Right.
Because I can literally like the other day, like I had a brisket on. I came to the gym and I'm doing things. I don't have to freaking sit
Yeah.
there and make sure everything.
like even though it's negative 4 million outside right now, if I wanted to go and smoke some food, I could just set it ahead. Like I want you to stay at 250, and I'm going to go through 4 bags of pellets, but it's just going to do what it needs to do.
Yeah, I mean that's going to be your only. I had somebody ask me the other day about cooking when it's really cold. I mean, your smoker will do it.
Yeah.
You're just gonna have to use a lot of fuel. That's where if you're gonna get into it, get an insulated one if you can. Traeger makes some that are insulated, or you can buy the
hope.
thermal blanket for it.
I've heard welding blankets work.
Yeah, that works too, but it makes a difference. The thermal blanket for Traeger actually mounts to it, so you can open and close it
Yep.
with it on there.
Yep.
But it just helps you save some fuel, just so you're not constantly.
Yep.
And in
You
the
were-
summertime, it works also. I mean, it's still.
Yeah, I
like
leave mine
year-round.
on year round.
You were making fun of me for not having one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're cheap, and in the long run, it's probably actually more efficient to have the insulation.
I don't go through a ton of pellets, but
Have you ever smoked when it's this cold?
I mean,
See?
close.
See? But it wasn't.
I don't think it's the temperature.
Not
It's going to
this
be the
cold.
wind today.
I've never. I didn't. I smoked a turkey for Christmas,
Yeah.
but
That was a weird Christmas. So it was nice then.
yeah, it was pretty nice.
This Christmas,
Yeah,
the
it was
weather was
pretty nice.
really weather was like pretty good for Christmas.
didn't it snow?
Like
little bit.
Christmas Day.
Just the tip.
Yeah.
Well, technically, I smoked it on the 28th because I had to work on Christmas. So
But yeah, I think offsets are probably taste wise are going to be different than a pellet because you get the full on
Yeah,
wood.
It's right. It's something like the way the smoke flows through, and I noticed it. So we get, and I'm sure I've talked about Cure in Fort Calhoun a bunch, and they make some of the best bacon I've ever had. But like you open up the packet of bacon for their black pepper bacon that they smoke, and like it just smells smoky. Like it has a really good, pleasant, like smoky smell. And even other stuff that you pop open like that, you're like, oh, you get hit with that smoke. But like if I do ribs or any kind of meat on the pellet smoker, like you crack open the container, you get some of the smoke smell, but it doesn't seem like it's as
Pungent.
pungent. Like I was
That is true.
penetrating, but I think you still get a really good product, and you can make some really good barbecue on a pellet. I think, but I think you get a higher quality of smoke flavor.
I think anytime you're using real wood is going to be the difference.
Giggity.
People who do have offsets though do think they're way cooler than us.
Fuck yeah!
They do.
It's like people have staccatos.
Yeah, I think like I have a green egg, and that's like you talk about the prepper part because it's you don't need electricity to run a green egg. And those are
You will let all the zombies know where you're at though if you fire that green egg up.
they're similar to an offset. I mean, you have to manage the fire, but the only downfall is you can't add to it once it's going without taking it completely apart. So you have to kind of have it pretty loaded down if you're going to smoke something long. Same thing with like one of the like drum smokers. But I am tempted to buy a drum smoker because I think they're pretty cool.
I'm still eyeballing one of those like birch barrels. Have you seen those?
I have, and I think we've talked about them.
Yeah, it's like, you guys know what a solo stove is, like the little bonfire.
Yeah.
stainless
Yes.
steel. So it looks like a solo stove, but it hangs from a tripod stand on a chain. You load your wood in the bottom, and then it has an adjustable rack that you can move up or down. So you can
To
drop,
adjust your heat.
yeah, to adjust like the closeness to the flame, right? So if you want like a lot of high heat, cool, you can bring it down, you can bring it up. You can leave the barrel open and have your rack sit a good distance above for like a slow cook, or you can put it down and actually put a lid on top of it and kind of move this stuff up and down. And so looking at those, but again, it's really cool because it kind of reminds you of like, I don't know, like cooking out with the cowboys would do over the open flame, right? Because it's got this tripod, makes you feel all manly and cool. But like from a footprint standpoint, Like it takes up a lot of fucking room because of that tripod situation. So I'm sure there's something out there that's
That's that thing I just showed you, that nuke one that Craig had.
the nuke will do that. Like, how high up above the flame can you?
I'm not sure. I feel like it goes at an angle.
Yeah. And then like Pittman has those, the Cacciatori. Is that what those are?
Yeah, where you can crank it up and
Yeah.
raise it up and lower it down. Bobby Flace uses those all the time. on
Yeah.
the
So
show.
it's something similar to that, but not $8,000.
Yeah. But I think that's where all of us use pellet, but that's mainly because it's just the easiest. That's where you're probably going to find 90% of people that do barbecue
Yeah.
at home probably use a pellet.
Yeah. But I think you can mess with pellets to get different smoke intensity. Your pellet grill, like the Timberline I have, where you can do a super smoke, so you can ramp up your smoke there. I've done super smoke on there and put a smoke tube in there just to see if you could get, and it did get a lot. I used the mesquite in the smoke tube, and mesquite is
Super
real
smoke.
smoke, like super duper smoke. So super smoke plus mesquite, too much. Like it just tastes like campfire wood. So like, ooh, too much.
And you can always run lower temp for longer.
Yeah, low temp for longer to get more smoke exposure and stuff. So you can mess around with it, but I think like the real rich, full smoke flavor comes from offset.
That is one of the things I like about the pellet is that you can just throw it on low. You can go do stuff, and then when you're ready to finish it, you
Right.
can just turn it up.
Well, and speaking of, I think the closest one is probably Masterbuilt has their series, the Gravity Fed, and it's all fan and electronically controlled, but you put lump charcoal and wood in it. And actually, Coach X has one of those.
Camp Chef
Camp Chef does one, has the drawer.
Woodwind Pro is a pellet smoker that has a drawer box that you can pull out, and you can put chunk wood in there to give it a much smokier flavor and mess around with that.
Yeah. If you want a lazy offset way, the Masterbuilt will run wood and lump charcoal. Or if you want to try it, I mean, I'm not against trying an offset. You just have to have time. You have to have time in your day and not
Right.
leave.
I
Right.
guess if you wanted to be out there drinking beer all day, really had to babysit it, it's a really good thing to have.
Right.
But
and
like Blaine was he claims if it's like a good one, you don't have to babysit it that crazily.
right. I'd imagine if you're not.
Unless you want to tell your wife you need to, so you can be outside.
I think once you've done it a few times and you know.
Not that I would do that.
Yeah.
I gotta go check on the smoker. Isn't that the pellet? What?
You can buy the best pellet grill for what do you think the best ones are? Those Yoders.
Yoders are pretty nice.
Yeah. So how much is a really expensive Yoder?
It's probably 3,000 or 4,000.
Yeah.
So if you bought
For a decent size one, if you want to be able to do like a full
yeah,
packer
so then if you
brisket.
bought that offset that was really expensive, wasn't it like 7,000? I don't feel like the cost is going to outweigh the
Now, if you look at
quality
like
you're gonna
your
get from it, I
like the
guess.
mill scale, so you got your mill scale offset, which I think is probably like or the Aaron Franklin's. They're probably about the same price, and that's kind of like your, I would say, gold standard high end offset. Those all in are probably $7,500 for one of those.
Yeah.
Your volume is probably a little bit more, because those are 94 gallon. At least the mill scale is a 94 gallon. I think the Franklin one's about the same. So you get
It's
a
a
little
big-
more,
it's a
little
big
more
smoker.
volume.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're big. They're heavy. So yeah, from like a size standpoint, maybe they get the little leg up. I think the quality of barbecue you're going to be able to get out of a seasoned mill scale or Air Franklin barbecue is probably going to be a little bit. It's going to be better, but you have to get comfortable with it. You have to figure out how to use it. You're also not going to. I mean, I guess you could probably put a thermal blanket on one of those things.
I think if you're going to get into like really getting into barbecue, you need an offset. Like if you're going to start doing competitions and start actually, but if you're just somebody's regular dude, you're probably going to be just fine with
Right.
what I don't think you need to.
But like some people enjoy it. Like
Yeah, that's true. If you enjoy it,
like they just like managing the fire and they like the effort that goes into it.
I think Aaron Franklin has a video out there where he bought like a shitty offset and he like tuned it up and made it more efficient, made it better.
Yeah. But I mean, I haven't researched a lot of like mid-range offsets, but like I don't even have any suggestions for.
Like Yoder makes an offset.
Is it in the like the 3,000 to 4,000
I
range
believe
or
so.
something like that?
I believe it's somewhere out there. And Yoder's big thing is they're just such heavy construction. They're like thick
Yeah, they're
steel.
like the 1/4 inch steel.
You don't need an insulation on it because the steel's
Yeah.
so thick. So overall, I mean, if you just want to, like I said, backyard barbecue it, and you're trying to, you know, I just want to make barbecue and eat it. Just get a pellet. Just spend some money on a pellet smoker. It doesn't have to be. You don't have to get like the most expensive one, but don't buy the cheapest one.
Yeah.
Buy better pellets.
Buy good pellets.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't get the Traeger brand pellets.
Talk to like locally. Talk to the guys that helping you barbecue. They're really good with their pellets out there. Or do some research. We'll try to give you the best information we have.
You ever use the Cabela's pellets?
I have before, but they're just basically the same as Traeger pellets.
Yeah.
You just want to find the ones that are, because a lot of them are just like fillers. Like a lot of them have a lot of oak in it because oak burns hotter, so it's not full on like hickory or whatever you're looking for. So if you can find the ones that are like the 100% hardwood, whatever you're looking for.
Yeah, like so Lumberjack in particular, I can't speak for other brands, but Lumberjack in particular, if it says 100% hickory, 100% oak, then that pellet is 100% oak. That means all the way from the bark to the core, that's what those pellets are made of. A lot of the other places don't use bark in for the first little bit because it's just too messy, so they kind of shear them down to the inner part of the log, cut them up, and then pelletize that, so you miss out on some of the smoke profile that you get with the bark and with that very outer layer. Now that Lumberjack does make like a competition blend and a master blend that say, you know, oak, hickory, cherry, that is not 100% of each one of those pellets. That is like kind of the shaved down version of it. But you can get the 100%, like I have 100% hickory and 100% cherry from Lumberjack, and then I mix them into my own bucket of roughly like a 50-50, and I really like that one. There's like a Bear Mountain, I think is another brand.
And you get lumberjack pellets. I think I bought mine last time at Hy-Vee.
Yeah,
They're
Lumberjack
like-
pellets are a lot more
having
prevalent
Hy-Vee
now.
Yeah.
Helping You Barbecue guys have
Okay,
the Lumberjack.
yeah.
And Lumberjack makes a bunch of variety. So if like they don't carry it there, talk to wherever you're going to get it, and I'm sure they can order them.
I was looking here and I did find a pretty sweet $43,000 smoker.
Is it on wheels?
Yeah.
Like a trailer, I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it looked like a Yoda was like about $3,000, 2,800, $3,000
the offset?
for a pellet, like
Yeah.
the competition size, the
Yeah.
competition one. Offsets were anywhere from $300 to $12,000, depending on.
I mean,
which one.
an offset, like, here's the thing is if you want to get an offset and experiment around with one, I would definitely not do it in the fucking cold.
No.
Buy one in the summertime because you could buy a Facebook Marketplace used Oklahoma Joe's for probably $100, and in the summertime, you're probably not going to notice. But in the wintertime, you're going to be feeding the shit out of that thing because it's going to lose so
Unless
much
you
heat.
live in a country that it's always warm, because
Yeah.
we are in
We are in multiple
18
countries. Yes.
Or in a state where it's always warm. You know, you don't have to
Yeah,
worry
just
about
do
that.
your open pit barbecue.
Here right now, it's cold as shit. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Stupid fucking cool.
So yeah,
Yeah.
if you want to play around with them, but whenever it's colder, you're going to have to manage them more. I would say if you're first getting into it, you know, spend some money on on a good probe setup. I never trust the ones that are on the actual smokers.
Because they're wrong.
Yeah, get a nice probe setup and use quality meat. There's multiple videos you can watch out there. Buy quality meat. If you buy shitty meat, you're going to get a shitty product.
That is the best thing you can do, is buy quality meat. I tried to, I wasn't trying to buy cheap meat. I was just like, needed something. I didn't have time to wait for Snake River Farms, and it was the worst fucking thing.
Well, I mean, if you use Snake River Farms as like this is acceptable and everything under that is unacceptable, then yeah, you're fucked.
Well,
You can't
unfortunately,
do anything else.
because Brett made me get one time now. Now I have a hard time. I'm like, well, I'm just going to spend the extra money. Just won't smoke brisket like every other week.
They are expensive, but Snake River makes their meat that's all Wagyu is insanely good. Mm-hmm. And if you really break it down per pound, what it costs, like it's not really that bad.
I don't think actually if you break it down on what the cost is per pound, it really wasn't bad. It's like $10 a pound,
Yeah.
right, for their black.
Yeah, I think they're black Wagyu.
Yeah, it was like $10 a pound. But the usable meat, like on that, is like
It's all usable.
It is versus you get some of the like
Yeah.
other ones like, well, I just cut off like a
Yeah,
third
like if
of
you get
that.
a choice brisket from like Hy-Vee for $4.99, $5.99 a pound, there's a bunch of fat you cut off, and there's a bunch of extra that you have to round out. I mean, again, I do, but I like rounded off so you get like a good cut.
Yeah.
You get everything like somewhat uniform.
And then by the time you're done trimming, you probably spent $8 or $9 a pound.
Yeah, I mean, you're cutting off. At least I'll cut off 15%, sometimes upwards of 20% of the brisket to like trim it out. Now, obviously, we've talked about what you can do with all the leftovers and the goodies, and I don't waste any of that stuff. But
Yeah. So I mean, spend some money on the other stuff. You know, start out with kind of a middle of the road smoker and go from there.
yeah, get
Traeger's solid.
yeah. Traeger is a solid brand.
Green Mountain.
I can say
Yeah, Green Mountain.
do not get the Timberline XL Traeger. I don't think it's not worth the money. Get the.
I think if you start with like a
one.
Pro 34,
Pro 34 is
get an
fucking
insulated
a
blanket for it.
great one.
You can get into a Pro 34 with an insulated blanket for probably under $1,000.
Yep.
Probably
easily.
at this point, probably like $700-800.
Easily. Now you got to
What do
spend
I have?
an extra
You have a Pro. So it's a smaller Pro series
Yeah,
one.
the
Yeah.
5 something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will say the one thing that I would like to punch Traeger in the face for is that they don't include shelves on their smokers.
Oh,
So
yeah.
you have to like if you want a front shelf, you have to buy the front shelf, and they're like 150.
What do you mean?
So
Like a-
like on, well, I mean, I guess it doesn't have one over there, but like, so if you get the Pro 34, it's
Oh,
the
mine had
smoker.
it.
You probably
Mine had
put
the
one.
shelf.
What is it like? It's not built into it, right? It just
It just slides up.
yeah. So that was an aftermarket thing that got put on afterwards because they're sold as just the barrel.
Oh. Well, it was. That's how I bought it. Well, I may have did buy a 4 model because I am cheap.
Right. So every time they have them displayed, they all have shelves on the front.
So I
But
got
those
that.
shelves are like they're,
Actually, I
they're
did.
add-ons.
I actually remember I did buy the 4 model.
I'll take this one right here.
Yeah.
It's already
Yeah.
put together.
Yeah, it
But
does
that
not
was
fit
like,
on the shelves.
That good, like Green Mountain is a fantastic brand. Their bigger version, which I'm not familiar with their models, but they're kind of their biggest non-commercial version. There is a website, I think it's called Pimp My Barbecue, which I giggled at. But they make a rack insert for the big Green Mountain version that will give you 5 racks inside there.
If you Google search just Pimp My Barbecue, what do you think that looks
I
like?
don't know. We'll see. But I think that was the site. It was something where the guys at Helping You Barbecue told me about it. But anyway, so you can get that if you want to get racks, and the racks are spaced out far enough that you can get, I think, 2 rib racks on each shelf. So you can get a lot of volume in there. But yeah, I mean, you could get into smoking on a pellet smoker under $1,000 for something that's really good, reliable, and is going to work for a while and give you like a really good experience.
Yeah, I mean, my 34 blew over twice in the wind.
My lid just straight up blew off. It got too hot and it snapped. Well, I had it open because it was on fire, and then the wind blew, and it just like tore the lid off. And I took it back off, and like we put a couple little tack welds on it, and so now it's just fine.
Yeah, yeah, they'll withstand it.
Yep.
But yeah, other than that, I think we kind of answered what was asked.
Pimp My Grill is the website.
Okay.
Pimp My Grill. Check it out if you need
Yeah.
accessories for whatever. I don't even know if they have accessories for everything. There's also another one out there called, like, I think Barbecue Guys. I think I bought from there. So, but yeah, there's some good questions. If you guys have any more questions, keep them coming. These were off of actually YouTube. You can go YouTube or Instagram page. It doesn't matter. You can direct message us, or if we post a Q&A thing. But keep them coming. We just want to help people out. We'll break it down like we tried to today with some of the pistol stuff. And other than that, we appreciate you guys listening. Share the show, follow the show, subscribe, like, download, tell your friends, tell everybody. And we'll see you next time.